Hola guys, hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a October slash Spook-a-thon TBR. I'm going to be showing you guys what I'm going to be reading for October, but I'm also going to be showing the books that I'm going to be using for the Spook-a-thon TBR. So let's get into it. The first book that I want to get started on is this baby, God's Grave by Jade Kristoff, which is the second book in the Nevernight Chronicles or Nevernight series. And I have already tabbed up like the different books, like book 2, book 3, just to give me like a way to know like, okay, this is where I have to get up to this time, this is where I have to get up to this time. I do have Dark Dawn and I cannot wait to read it. It is hardcover. I'm a big fan of paperback, but I cannot wait to read it. Hopefully next month. I'm crossing my fingers. I think I might have a heart attack reading it, but it's okay. And a little bit about this series. This series follows Mia, which she is kind of, I don't want to spoil the book, but she's trying to become a assassin. Something really bad happened to her in the beginning of the story, and she is trying to get back at the people that did all that stuff. So in the first book, we see her going through all sorts of trials and errors and meeting new people and getting attached to people and seeing her journey through the first book. And the second book, I can't tell you much because it's gonna give you spoilers for the first book. But if you want some angst, if you want some well-written smut and some nice fantasy and a lot of death, this series is the best for you. The best. And then after that, I would love to read. I've had this book in my TBR for, I want to say like 4 months now, and that's A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Cameron. And I love Beauty and the Beast. I heard that this is a very different way of telling Beauty and the Beast, like a retelling, and I'm excited to read it and to get into it. But she thick. She real thick, like almost 500 pages thick, and I don't know. I'm not usually one to have a strict TBR of how many books I want to read or what exactly I need to read. So hopefully I get to that book and I don't like throw my TBR out the window and then read something else completely, which has happened. And then the third book that I would like to read is The Kingdom of Souls by Rena Bear. I actually met Rena at Epic Reads, had them touring, and they came to Connecticut to that bookstore, and I got it personalized by her. Here we go. And my name's spelled wrong, but I still like it. It's okay. The premise of this book is about witch and witch doctors, and the main girl, Ara, hopefully I'm saying that right, she comes from a family from witch doctors and witches and stuff, and she has noticed that she hasn't had any type of magic. She hasn't gotten like the power to see the future, the power to call upon ancestors. So she decides to use the last resort to gain magic by blood magic. So I can't wait to read this. It'll go with October and with the spooky like Halloween and witchy type of vibe. And I heard really, really, really good things about this, so I'm excited to read this. And then the next book I'm reading is the two, I want to say these are the two books for Spook-a-thon, but Kingdom of Souls and God's Grave, those two can kind of go for a Spook-a-thon as well. The first one that I'm gonna be choosing is City of Ghosts, and City of Ghosts is by Victoria Schwab, or V.E. Schwab if you read A Darker Shade of Magic. It's a good one. And this one for Spook-a-thon is going to be the challenges of a spooky word, ghosts. Red on the cover, bam, bam. Like, there's red all over this, like this red. And then a spooky setting. The spooky setting is the world of spirits. I know I wouldn't want to be in the world of spirits. I would think that's kind of freaky, seeing people that have already died, and like, I think that will freak me out and like mess with my head. And this is actually a middle grade, and I have all of her books except for Near Witch, and I really want to read this one so I can get to Tunnel of Bones, which already came out, which is the second book in the series. And I think I'm gonna be able to finish this. The letters in here are pretty big, and it's only like less than 300 pages. And here we follow Cass and her best friend, which is a ghost, and she experiences like a near-death experience, and which opens her eyes to the spirits, or the world of the spirits. And that's all I know for that book, and that's how I want to keep it, and I want to read it, and I want to enjoy it. I usually don't like to know a lot about books when I grab them, so sorry if I'm a little blah when it comes to the actual synopsis, because I like to just go into the book without knowing much about it. And then the next one I'm going to be reading for the Spook-a-thon is The Bone Houses, and this is the All Crate edition, which is the white with the gold and not the black with the gold on there. And this one's going to be spooky word. I think this one's a thriller. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. If not, then I have to figure out another book. And this is something I wouldn't normally pick up or wouldn't normally read. I'm usually like the fluffy romance books type of girl, so this is gonna fulfill those challenges. And then out of all the TBRs, these two are gonna be the ones that I want to get to the most. I want to make sure I get to these and finish off Spook-a-thon. I just did Contemporary-a-thon, and I read 5 books for Contemporary-a-thon, and that was a lot, so kind of need a break, but I got this. And this one is, I believe this is about gravediggers, but the gravedigger is, she's 17 years old, and her name is Rin, and the people that are dead, they come back alive. That's all I kind of know about this one. That's all I kind of want to know about this one too. But this one, I gotta show you the bookmark. Look at that bookmark. What? And so those are all the books that I'm going to be reading in October. And I do also want to throw in another book, but I don't know if I want to throw this one in. It's a chunker. Like, if A Curse So Dark and Lonely was thick, this one's thick. And that's A Court of Mist and Fury. I am very late to this series. Very, 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 very late. I read A Court of Thorns and Roses a couple months ago, and I absolutely fell in love. Didn't want to pick this up right away because I didn't want to get my heart broken. But I've been getting yelled at to read this book, so I think I'm gonna suck it up and read it this month. But I don't want to cry. And I've also heard some stuff, and I spoiled myself a little bit within this book. Like, there's certain chapters that I just want to like go into and start reading, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna make sure that I take my time and I read it. And so those are all the books that I'm gonna be reading for October and for Spook-a-thon. I'm so excited. Oh, and just to let you know, Spook-a-thon is run by Books and Lala, and it's has It's kind of like a spooky readathon for October, for Halloween, and the challenges are very like neutral and very like kind of like easy to do. It makes it easier for you to pick like just like maybe 2 books and maybe 1 book and just get it over with. But it just helps you pick up that 1 book and actually read books with other people that are doing it. And the challenges are to read a thriller, read a book with red on the cover, read a book with a spooky word on the cover, read a book with a spooky setting, and read something that you would normally not read. So like if you like adult romance and you want to pick up a fantasy, yeah, that would be for you. And I do also want to pick up The Beautiful when it comes out October 8th, and I would like to read that. I got the I'll Create exclusive little sampler, and I really like it, and I've been looking at that book for a while because it's vampires. You know, Twilight, vampires, New Orleans, vampires. It all meshes together. So maybe that one's going to be making an appearance as well this month, because I really want to read that book too. But thank you, gracias guys, for coming to my channel and opening this video and taking your time to see my crazy, weird, messed up face person. And I hope to see you in the next video. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye.